Hello everyone, this is Shrikant. Today I would like to explain MapReduce Java program using Hadoop, Java and Eclipse to calculate the poll result of imaginary country called Utopia. This tutorial is done using Cloudera VMware available on Moma Sandbox and I am accessing it using Citrix. The code for this program is available in GitHub under Hortonworks Hadoop tutorials. The main concept of this tutorial is to calculate the vote result of an imaginary country called Utopia, and there are 5 contestants in this election. Now let us go to the program. I've logged into the Cloudera VMware virtual machine using Citrix. I have created 3 programs: WordCount Mapper, Reducer, and WordCount Application. We need to add a few external jar files before proceeding with the program. So let me show you how to add them. Just go to the program, right click, go to properties and go to external jars, and you can add the external jar files that are available on system. You can see that I have already added the jar files that are required, so I am not adding them again. So let us look at the programs now. The first class is a mapper class. Here we have object and text as input, and we are getting text and int writable as output. This is a map function here. Here the key is offset and value is the entire content of the file, and context is the configuration data for the job. Here is where we are splitting the word of the contestant, and if we have multiple names for the contestant, the first name will be taken as the name of the contestant, and this will be written into 1, and this will be sent as input for the reducer class. The next one would be the reducer class. Here we have text and int writable, which were outputs of the mapper class are being used as inputs of the reducer class, and we have a text and int writable as an output. Here we are counting number of times each word has occurred in the file, and we are using the word count variable to calculate the count, and we will be outputting the count of each word as an output. Finally, we have word count application, which is a driver class that defines the configuration of jobs submitted to the Hadoop cluster. This implements the tool interface, which indicates to run the word count application based on the arguments that we are going to pass in the command line when we run the jar file. So here we have definition for all the jobs that will be executed. This job is for instance creation. Here we have mapper and reducer classes. Here we have jobs for input and output format, and we have jobs for input and output paths where the both file will be stored and the output will be stored. And the set jar by class will be used to locate the jar file that contains word count application class. Now let us export this as a jar file. So go here, click on export, and you can select the jar file and click on next, and you can save it in your desktop as a jar file. I have already saved it as an Utopia MR jar file, so I'll cancel this. And once you open this jar file, you will find a lot of different files that are available. So now let us go to the browser, click on Hue, go to the file browser, click on user, go to Hue, and we can see that I have created a directory called word count input. Let's go and see what is inside it. There are 2 files inside it, both 1 and both 2. Let us see how the files look like. The files contain the name of the application candidate, Jiju Jaja. Let us see the second one. Is more or less the same. It contains the names of the candidates. So now let me open the terminal and go to the desktop where my jar file is located. So I'm already in the desktop, and let me run this command, which says utopia mr.jar file is stored in the desktop, and the application, the class that we're going to drive, that's going to drive the application is word count application, and the input path is word count input, and the output where it will be stored is the path here is user Hue word count output. So let me run this command. We can see that it says submitted application. So our job is submitted. Let me go to the job browser to see the submitted job. You can see that the job is submitted and it is running. Now we can see that the job has completed execution, and it has taken 24 seconds to complete the execution. So let us go to the file browser to see the output. Here we can see that a directory called word count output is created. Let's go inside, and here we can see the file that is created with output. We can see the number of votes that each candidate got, and from the output here we can see that Jiju is a winner with 45 votes.